a tennis ball on your hands and knees. You're going to actually bring the forearm onto the tennis ball. So I'm starting with my right forearm. My hand, the palm is facing down. I'm going to make a little fist, and I'll place the forearm on the tennis ball, and I'll roll to the wrist and back again. Okay, this is rolling along the flexor muscles of the forearm. And for me, I feel it's quite sore, actually. And it's a very interesting thing to do, especially if you get sore in your wrists and your hands from typing on a computer. For those of you who may not have a tennis ball, I'd like you to take your fingers and press them into the forearm all the way down to the elbow, and then moving back. For me, I really feel a difference when I use the tennis ball, however, because I can modify the pressure on the tennis ball, and it really lets the muscle be self-massaged and the fascia, and it gets me into those trigger points, those points where muscle tension builds up. Okay, we'll release that. Draw a big circle with your hand, making a fist. Feel the wrist, change the direction. And then I'm just gonna set my hands down on the thighs, close my eyes, and I notice the difference in the right arm compared to the left. Okay, it's important for us to just become aware of what's going on. Let's do the other side. So we'll place the tennis ball down, make a little fist, and you'll roll up and down. Again, if you don't have a tennis ball, no big deal. You can still massage those muscles by sticking your fingers in, going up and down. But I would recommend, if you can get yourself a tennis ball, they're very easy to find. You can get a secondhand one. It doesn't have to be a firm one. Getting one on the internet costs very little money. I think it might even just be 50 centimes if you can get it on some of the sites that have old tennis balls. Working up and down on the tennis ball really makes a difference for the muscles and the trigger points. And you can also modify the pressure. So doing this a few times, you could even go to a tennis club and ask if they have any balls, any old balls that they don't need. I'm sure they'll give you a ball. Okay. After that, we can place the tennis ball to the side. We will work with it later. Lift your hand, make a little fist, and draw a circle with the hand. And just notice what's going on here. Okay. Now, of course, all of the structures, all the tissue we're working there can also be responsible for pain in the carpal tunnel and carpal tunnel syndrome. So working those muscles and getting those trigger points out of that area can be very useful. Place your hands down again, close your eyes, notice how you're feeling in the hands, the wrists, and the forearms. All right, let's come up onto our hands and knees. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we'll begin moving the back. So taking a deep breath in, let's curl the spine skyward. And then you'll breathe out and round, look to your belly button. And again, we'll curl, looking skyward, breathing in and breathing out, rounding, look to the belly button. Let's do that a few more times. This feels really good. I got some tension built up in my back this weekend. We were moving things. So right now I'm getting little cracks and little creaks out in my spine. One more time around your spine. And let's come to a flat back. Perfect. Walk your hands forward a little bit, just about a hand's length forward. And now we're going to start engaging and activating the muscles of the back, the glutes, and the backs of the legs. So to do that, we're going to take the bowspring posture where we curl the spine, feeling a stretch from the chin down to the pubic bone. So the more you curl in this area and get long through the belly, that's what the bow is. and we'll bounce back and forth. The bouncing back and forth is also an original strength movement where we're imitating what small babies will do before they start crawling or walking. And they're actually engaging and activating muscles. And it's a natural movement that we all did when we were little. Now we'll do the same thing, lifting up the right knee and setting the right foot on the floor. The right knee points out to your right. Reach your right hand out far in front of you and bounce back and forth again. You'll feel the stretch down into the low back as well, activating all these muscles, just getting ready. Bring the right hand back down, stretch your right leg out to the side, toes pointing forward. And again, we bounce back and forth, the head is lifted. Nice, easy movements, always with awareness. And bring the knee back down underneath the hip. Turn your left knee up to the sky, set the left foot flat on the floor, reach your left hand far out in front of you, and let's bounce back and forth. Activating all those muscles, be sure you keep your head lifted. And if possible, ladies, throughout the class, keep your tongue in the home position, touching the upper palate and the backs of the teeth. Bring the hand back down, stretch your left leg out to the side, toes pointing forward, and let's go. Bouncing back and forth, feeling the inner thigh, engaging, getting ready. Bring the knee back down. Keep your hands shoulder width, fingers spread, tuck your toes under, tilt the hips up, and everyone takes crouching cat pose. So you lift your knees, heels are lifted, lift the head, open the shoulders. Feel like you're pressing down through the earth as you're engaging through the shoulders. Keeping the head lifted is going to engage those neck muscles. Keeping the hips lifted is going to engage the low back as well as the backs of the legs. And we'll bounce back and forth, back and forth. And as you bounce back, open the knees. Back and forth. Good. Now turn your knees to the right and bounce down, bringing the hips back towards the heels. Perfect. Change sides, turn the knees to the left, and again, bounce. The hips go towards the heels. Yes. Turning back forward, open your feet as wide as possible and walk your hands back. Fingertips on the floor. So the toes point forward, the hips are lifted. Really look for that curve in the low back and begin bouncing here up and down like an open squat. Then keeping the knees bent, one hand at a time on the thighs, lift the chest. Keep the hips pushing back so you're in a nice even open squat position. Chest lifting, throat opening, raise your arms, reaching in front of you as much as possible. We'll bounce here. And then come all the way up to a standing position. Good. Step your feet in. Perfect. Let's take a big step to the front edge of the mat. Feet at hip width. Open up the chest. Find a nice position for the hips. We want to look now for your perfect posture, ladies. So your knees are soft, chest lifted, shoulders wide, the neck is long. And remember how we got our jaw lifting in the right position? Go ahead and take your thumbs again and just draw along the jawline to your chin. So it keeps your head lifted. Sometimes we think our head's lifted, but it's actually here. So we want to keep the head lifted, draw along the jawline, and then bring the hands down by your sides. Now, with the arms by our sides, I would like everyone to stretch the arms as straight as possible. okay? This helps to engage the tricep muscles. And also the backs of the arms, typically we've got our elbows a little bit bent. So we want to engage them and get it into a strengthening position. Now bring your hands to your heart center. Keeping the rest of the body tall and strong, we're going to get moving. Take a deep breath in, raise the arms, stretching skyward. As you fold, you'll bring your elbows and your knees towards each other. Then the hands come to the ground. Now we'll start stepping back to a plank position. Chin is lifted, shoulders open, get your belly long. Lower your knees down, open up your hands. Now, if you feel your kneecaps pushing into the floor and it's uncomfortable, I suggest lifting your feet so you're above the kneecaps and you're on the tendon. If it's okay, keep your feet down, but just be aware you've got a lot of pressure on the kneecaps, okay? Let's move down, chest comes down to the floor and push back up. Then move all the way down, pointing your toes, hands can come back in under the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, move up into cobra. Turn to look over your right shoulder, look at your right foot. Come back to center, look over your left shoulder, left foot. Back to center, bring your chest back down. Push up onto the hands and knees. Right hand off the mat, left hand on top. Let's get a stretch down the side body. Hips move back. The head can rest on your left arm. And we'll lift back up and we'll change sides. Hands off the left-hand side. Press the hips back. The head can rest on the right shoulder. Lifting back up. Hands to the front edge of your mat. Here's where you can choose. You either take down dog or you take crouching cat. I like to take crouching cat, stepping the feet forward a bit. Lift your head. Take a deep breath in. Breathe everything out. And begin stepping your feet forward. Front edge of the mat. Bend your knees, hands to the thighs. Lift the chest. Raise the arms by your ears. Chair position. And then everyone come back up to the standing position. Find your perfect posture and straighten your arms by your sides. Okay, just as we talked about before, getting those triceps engaged. You can feel that. Lift your chin. Now hands to the heart center. We'll go a little bit faster and we'll skip some of the stretches. Deep breath in, rise up. Breathing out, elbows to knees. Stepping back to a plank position. Lower your knees down, open your hands. Lift your feet if you wish and do one push-up. Move all the way down. Hands under the shoulders, point the toes and lengthen the legs. Rise to a cobra. Chest comes back down. Push up onto the hands and knees. Tucking your toes, take down dog or crouching cat. Lift your head, look to your hands. Stepping forward. Hands to the thighs, lift the chest. Rise up to a chair position, arms by your ears. All the way up to standing, arms by your side. Stretch the arms straight. Yes. Hands to your heart center. Good. A little bit faster. Deep breath in. Breathing out, moving down and forward, elbows to knees. I'm going to have a look. Stepping back to a plank position. That's it. Good. Bring your knees down, open your hands. One push-up, down and up. Good. All the way down, point your toes coming up into a cobra. Pushing back to down dog or crouching cat. Yes, good, Vinola. Lift your head, look forward and stepping forward. Excellent, Agnieszka. Hands onto the thighs, lift up into a chair. Stay in chair, arms by your ears. Beautiful, Gitel. And then all the way up to standing. Arms by your side, stretch the arms straight. Excellent, Catherine. Hands to your heart center. Let's go again. Deep breath in, rise up. Breathing out, elbows to knees, all the way down, ladies. Stepping back to a plank position, hold in the plank. Good, Lisa. Hold it here, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Excellent, Maggie. Bring the knees down, open the hands wide, and do a push-up. Maggie, maybe you do it without your knees. That's great. All the way down. Point your toes, rise up to a cobra. Pushing back to down dog or crouching cat. Good, Natalie. I'm sure you're working perfectly well. Look to your hands, everyone, and start stepping forward. Bend your knees low, hands to thighs, coming up into chair. Raise the arms by your ears. Come all the way up to standing and straighten the arms at the top by your sides. Good. We're going to add on to this. Hands to your heart center. Take a deep breath in, rise up. Breathing out, let's fold. Elbows to knees, hands come to the floor. Now just step back one leg, just one leg. Bend the knee low, bring your hands to your front thigh and lift up. So it doesn't have to be a long lunge. The back knee is bent. Sink down more, raise the arms. Hands to the heart center coming up. Sink down more, raise the arms. Coming back up. That was 2. We're going to do 5 in total. Here's 3, 2 more, 4. Here's the last one. 5. Hands come to heart center. Set your hands down and step your feet back to a plank position. We're going to add on. Hold in the plank, or to add again, I want you to set your right hand on your left shoulder, then your left hand on your right shoulder, then right hand on the left. And bring the hands down, knees come down, open the hands. 1 push-up. All the way down. Point your toes. Let's rise to a cobra. Down dog or crouching cat. Look into your hands. Begin stepping forward. Bend your knees low, hands to your thighs. Rise up to a chair. Raise the arms. Then bring the hands to the heart center. Keep your chair. Raise the right foot. Hold. Moving into propeller pose. Hold. The foot comes up behind you. Back up with the foot in front of you. Hold. Set the foot down and come to a standing position. Arms by your sides. Straighten the elbows. Yes. Hands to the heart center. Let's breathe in. Rise again. Breathing out, fold it forward, elbows to knees, hands to the floor. Step your left foot back, those knees bend, hands on the front thigh, and you lift. So you're in that font position or the lunge position, but back knees bent. Go down lower, raise the arms, hands to your heart center, come up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands down, stepping back to a plank position. Both feet step back. Now lift your left hand to the right shoulder. Right hand to the left. Left hand to the right. Bring the knees down. Open your hands, lifting the feet if you wish. 1 push-up. All the way down. Cobra position. Down dog or crouching cat. Lift your head, begin stepping forward. Bend your knees, find the chair, hands on the thighs. Raise your arms, then hands to the heart center. Raise your left leg, up it goes. Then into propeller pose, the foot comes up behind you. Back up in front of you. Set the foot down, come to standing. Arms by your side, straighten the elbows. Let's run through all of that again 2 times. Hands to your heart center. Deep breath in, rise up. Breathing out, elbows to knees, all the way down. Whew, right leg goes back. It's a high lunge position, lift yourself up. Sink down lower, 5, hands to the heart center. 4, 3, good. 2, keep breathing, tongue in home position. 1, hands come down, step it all back into a plank position. Hold the plank or lift the hands. Right hand, left elbow. Left hand. Right hand. Bring the knees down. Open your hands. Lifting up the feet. One push-up. If you have time, maybe 2 or 3. All the way down. Hands under the shoulders. Cobra. Down dog. Crouching cat. Look into your hands. Begin stepping forward. Knees bend down low. Support yourself, lifting up into chair. Hands to your heart center. Right foot lifts. Hold. Propeller. Hold. Lifting back up in front of you. Hold. Set the foot down. Come up to standing, arms by your side. Stretch the arms straight. Good. Hands to your heart center. Last round, ladies. Let's make it happen. Lift. And elbows to knees all the way down. Step your left foot back. Keep yourself strong. Hands to the front thigh. Sink down lower. 5. Lifting back up. 4. Good. 3. Stay with it. 2. Beautiful. 1 more. Whew, stay down low. Hands come down. Stepping back to your plank position. You can stay like this or lift your left hand to the right shoulder. Change and change. Knees come down. Open the hands. 1 push-up. All the way down. Point your toes coming up into a cobra. Down dog or crouching cat. Lift your head looking forward. Stepping your feet forward. Coming into the chair. Arms by your ears to start. Then, in front of the heart center, raise your left foot. Propeller. Back up in front of you. Set the foot down. Come all the way up to standing, stretching your arms straight. Nice job, ladies. Just recover for a moment. Tongue in home position. If you can keep breathing through your nose, that's great. Hands can come to your hips. Raise your right leg and step the right leg back behind you, turning to the right-hand side of your mat. Legs straight, feet parallel. Begin moving your hips, making a nice big circle with the hips. Beautiful. Really good mobilization of the hips, low back, inner thighs. Change the direction. Nice and easy. Good. All right. Set your hands at your low back. Bend your knees slightly. Lift and open the chest and lean back as far as is comfortable. Feel the stretch through the belly, the lift and the lengthening through the throat. Breathing 3, 2, and 1. Looking forward. Good. Bending forward. Now listen carefully. Bring your hands down to the floor. If you need to bend your knees to get your hands down to the floor, that's fine. Okay? I'm going to turn to the side so that you see what we're going to do. We're going to walk our hands forward as far as possible. Okay? So you're in kind of a down dog or crouching cat, knees bending. Hips are lifting, but your feet are wide. Okay? Take your right hand and touch your left knee. Then bring the hand back down and let your hips come forward and into a plank. Go back again, right hand, left knee. Coming forward into a plank. Breathe in. Breathe out, right hand, left knee. Breathe into the plank. 3 more times. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Here's the last one. Breathing out. And in. You're in a plank position. I want you to step your right foot in, then the left foot steps in. Raise your right leg and pulse it up to the sky. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change, left leg lifts, pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees down, open the knees, and sink into a child's pose. So you're still facing the right-hand side of your mat, child's pose. Rest for a moment. Lifting back up. Keep your hands as they are. Bring the knees in, tuck the toes, come into crouching cat or down dog. Step your feet wide. Walk your hands back now. Keeping the knees soft, one hand at a time on the ankles. Bring your head down, crown of the head towards the ground. And hold it here, knees soft. Tilt your hips up. Breathing deeply. Then we'll bring both hands to the right ankle, front of the mat. Staying there. Set your hands down, turn the left ankle to the front of the mat. So you're turning back to the front of your mat. Bend your back knee and step forward. Bend your knees low, hands to the thighs, lift up into a chair position, arms by your ears, and come all the way up to standing. Arms by your sides, straighten the elbows. Beautiful. We're going to do the whole thing on the other side. I'm going to step to the other side of my mat, so I'm still facing you. So here we go. Hands to the hips, stepping my left leg back. I'll turn to the left-hand side of my mat. Nice big circles with the hips. Let's go. Starting easy mobilization. Good job. Change the direction of the circle. Beautiful. Hands at the low back, lift and open the chest, keeping the knees soft, go back as far as is comfortable, opening the throat, squeeze the shoulder blades. That's good, ladies, very nice. 3, 2, 1. Looking forward, fold yourself forward. The hands come down to the earth. Now here's where we get to that open down dog again. Bend your knees if you need to. Walk your hands forward as far as possible. Knees are soft, okay? I'm going to turn myself to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. And this time we're going to be lifting our left hand to the right knee. Bring the hand down and move into a plank position. Moving back, hips are up, left hand, right knee. Back down again. Plank. And again, left hand, right knee. Back to plank. We have 3 more. 3, 2, breathe in as you go into plank. 1. Back to plank, step your feet in, one at a time, until you're in the full plank position, feet close to each other. Raise your left leg, get it strong and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other leg, lift it, pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the foot down, open your knees, sink back and into child's pose. So you're still facing the left-hand side of your mat. Rest in child's pose for a moment. Walk your hands back. Bring your knees together. Tucking the toes. So actually keep your hands forward, sorry. Tucking the toes, come into a down dog, normal down dog, and then open your legs. Then we'll walk our hands back and grab the ankles. Knees are soft, hips are tilted nicely skyward. Let your head rest down towards the ground. Then we'll bring both hands onto the right ankle and we'll stay here. The body moves to the right leg. Then we'll bring our hands down to either side of the right foot, point it towards the front edge of your mat. Good. Stepping forward. Whew. Bend your knees low, hands to the thighs, coming up into a chair position. And come all the way up to standing. Arms by your sides, straightening at the elbows. Beautiful, everyone. Hands come together at the heart center. Then both knees sink the hips back like you're sitting in a chair. Right foot comes on top of the left thigh. Hips sink back nicely. And the more you press them back, the more you're going to feel the bones sort of locking into the hip sockets. Thumbs come to the crown of the head, elbows point forward and up. Lift the chest, look skyward. Holding and breathing. 3, 2, 1. Releasing. Relaxing your feet on the ground. Good. Bend your knees. Hands to the heart center. Hips move back. Left foot on top of the right thigh. Sinking the hips deeply backwards. Thumbs to the crown of the head, elbows point forward and up. Lift your chin. Set your gaze skyward. And let's hold again. 3, 2, and 1. Releasing. Bring the feet down. Good job. Stepping to the front edge of your mat. Let's take a deep breath in. Reach skyward. As you fold, bring the elbows to the knees. Fold it right down. Hands come to the ground. Step back to a plank position, please. And everyone, move the knees down. Gently move your chest down. And hands come underneath the forehead. Good. Move your hips from side to side to relax and to let go. Lifting your head, let's look forward. Bring your feet and your legs hip width apart. And we'll reach our right arm far out in front of us. Thumb pointing skyward. Raise your right arm and your left leg. If you want, keep your head lifted, or you could keep it down on the ground. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hand back down underneath the forehead and rest. And we'll change. Left arm in front, thumb pointing up. Raise the left arm, right leg. Setting your gaze out in front of you. And holding. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands back down. Head back down, move the hips. This time, lift your head and shoulders, bend your knees, and flex your feet. Reach your hands behind you and just touch the tops of the heels. So it's not a grabbing. You're just going to touch the tops of the heels. Lift the head, shoulder, chest, and lift the knees if possible, pushing the heels into the fingers. Set your gaze out in front of you and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the legs back down, hands under the shoulders. Push up onto the hands and knees. Right hand comes off the mat, left hand on top. Press your hips back, get a stretch down the side body. And we'll change. Left hand off the mat, right hand on top. Stretch down the side body. Bringing your hands back onto the mat. Let's walk the knees forward. Feet can come to one side. Come to a seated position. Good job. We'll do 3 different kinds of bridge poses. Stick with me. Hands behind the thighs, rolling down onto your back. Walk your feet away from you, knees slightly bent. First one is hamstring bridge. Arms are on the floor, head and neck relaxed on the floor. Lift your hips by pressing into the floor with your heels. Then feel your heels moving towards your hips. Hamstring bridge is so healthy for the knees because often our hamstrings are not firing enough to protect the joints of the knees. So we're going to hold the hamstring bridge for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hips back down. Good. Second bridge. Place the soles of your feet together, knees wide. This is called the frog bridge. This one helps to engage and fire all of those gluteal muscles, as well as getting the thighs in a nice position for an inner thigh work. So we press the soles of the feet together, knees wide, arms are still down, lift the hips. Now you should feel there's a nice firing going on, the outer thighs, the glutes, the inner thighs are stretching a bit, but they're hanging on. It's an isometric contraction. Now we're going to press skyward. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, squeeze tight. 4, 3, 2, here's the last one. Good job. Bring the hips back down. Lift your knees and separate your feet hip width. Knees are hip width, and here's our classic bridge. Elbows into the ground, squeeze the shoulder blades. Keep the hips curling back and raise the hips up. You can go up as high as you feel comfortable. Lengthening the neck, feeling nice curve in the neck. And we take deep breaths again. Tongue in home position. If any of you practice regularly full bridge and you'd like to go into full bridge now, you can do that. Set your hands to either side of your head and rise to full bridge. Otherwise, you stay in half bridge. From here, let's raise our arms over our head. If you're in full bridge, come into half bridge now. Arms over the head, and we'll lower down one vertebra at a time, very, very slowly, until the low back reaches the floor. And once you're all the way down, keep the arms behind the head. Let's let our knees go to the right. Reach far behind you with the left hand. Lengthen out the belly, breathing deeply. One leg at a time. Let's lift left knee first, right knee follows, and let your knees fall to your left, reaching with your right arm behind you. Deep breaths here. Right knee lifts, left knee follows. Good. If you have your tennis ball by your side, pick it up now. I want us to massage the sacral region. So you'll set the ball very low, low, low at the low back. Just to show you where it will be. It should be just where the tops of the gluteal muscles are, right between. Okay? If you do not have a tennis ball, what I suggest is making 2 fists and place your fists just at the tops of the gluteal muscles and have the fist flat on the floor, you know, the edge of the fist here, flat on the floor, and see how much weight you can put on your hands. If it's not very comfortable, keep the weight off. And what you'll do is you'll just rock the weight from side to side. So with the tennis ball, you can place all of the weight of your body on the tennis ball, the lower hips on the tennis ball, and rock from side to side, same thing. If you're working with your fists, you won't be able to work as long, okay? So I really recommend you buying a tennis ball. And this is releasing the thoracolumbular fascia, which is where all of the fascia attach at the sacrum of the low back. And this should feel quite good. It's also massaging some of the attachments of the gluteal muscles at the very top. And then after a while, maybe you want to do a little circle, changing the direction of the circle. And then side to side once again. Let's lift the hips up, take the ball out from underneath, place it to the side, and bring the hips down. Once the hips come down on the floor, just notice how the sacrum flattens out and sort of is able to release and almost spread itself out onto the floor. This is the sensation I have. It's a really nice feeling for the sacrum. Now, I had a question by Natalie last week about the stretch of the hamstrings. So when we curve our low back and we have curve between the low back and the floor, and then we lift our leg, we are targeting the hamstrings without pulling against all of the gluteal muscles and the low back muscles especially. And it is a much healthier stretch for the hamstrings than if we allow our low back to go to the floor. If we allow our low back to go to the floor, we can go really far in the stretch. Sure, no problem. But it doesn't target as much the hamstrings. It gets all of this chain, the back chain muscles. So curving the low back will help to get the stretch down the back of the leg without overstretching our low back, which is a problem. We already overstretch our low back just by sitting with a rounded back. So keep your low back curved, flex your right foot, straighten your right leg as much as possible, and you're going to feel right away, boom, stretch down the back of the leg as well as the back of the calf, okay? Keeping the knee as straight as possible, keep that curve in the low back. And this is what's going to help to improve some low back issues. Because we're always told, stretch the hamstrings. Maybe the hamstrings are too tight, and that's what creates problem in the low back. But if you let the low back press into the floor, you're stretching the low back as well. So you're not getting the benefit of the stretch of the hamstring. So this I feel very, very strongly when I have curve in my low back and I stretch the hamstrings this way. Now cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Both knees point up towards the shoulders, grab around the legs and pull them in, and you'll feel the stretch in the hip. Bring your left foot onto the floor, keeping the legs crossed. Let your knees fall to your right. Stretch your left arm out to the side for an open twist. Deep breaths here. Let the right foot fall off the left knee. Lifting the left knee first, right knee follows. We'll change sides. Curve in the low back. Raise your left leg. Grab behind. You could root the leg down to increase that curve. Flexing the left foot. Feel the stretch down the back of the left leg without any stretch in the low back. Deep breathing. Tongue should remain in home position. And in these stretches, you can just recenter and relax a little bit. Crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. Both knees point up towards the shoulders. Grab around the legs and hold. Right foot comes down, legs stay crossed. Let your knees open up to the left. Right arm out to the side for an open twist. Looking to your right hand to add the neck. Fantastic. Let the left foot come off the right knee. Raise the right knee first, left knee follows. We'll lift up both knees, pull them towards the shoulders just to release the low back. Rock a bit from side to side. Then lifting the head, nose between the knees, lower your head back down. Set your feet down, looking for the outer edges of your mat. Stretch your right leg along the outer edge of the right-hand side. Stretch your left leg along the outer edge of the left-hand side. Turn your palms to the sky, open the chest, and begin taking some deep, slow breaths. And along with these breaths, allow yourself to relax and really let go of your feet, letting go of your legs, relax and let go of the hips, the low back. Relaxing the hands and the arms. The shoulders. Relaxing and letting go of the chest and the upper back. The neck, the throat, and the jaw. Remember that sensation we had just after massaging the jaw. Relax the face, around the mouth, around the eyes especially. And the forehead becomes completely smooth. And in this relaxed state, see if you can allow yourself to sink even more deeply